All right, you guys. Nvidia up to 525s. All right, guys. So today, we don't really have any economic reports coming out, but we do have. I'm taking a look right now. Hold on. We do have. Let me get this out of the way. We're gonna be watching the New York Open. We did have a huge green day yesterday. Just a great green day. Huge rip-ups. Big bullish action. Hey, what's up? Liv, JT, Kevin, UD, Ricky, Arif, Lil, San Diego, Pawn. What's up, guys? Let me get some music playing. Hold on. All right, market's starting to flush down a little bit here. Hey, what's up, Kim? Bad Stand, Dougie, UT, Beach Bum, Joshua, Danny, Dutch, Tank. What's up, guys? I'm going to start off by saying don't ever loan money to family members. You'll never get it back. You might as well just call it a gift. Yeah, I mean, I learned that a long time ago. I learned that. Like, the reality of it is, I don't even, like, if I have family members, and I'm not going to be too specific, but I do, you know, like, I've got family members that come to me saying, yo, can I borrow $100? Can I borrow $200? Listen, if I'm going to give them money, I'm giving them money that I have no expectation of getting back. Because, you know, again, in the end, anybody that needs to loan money, unless it's for like a very specific purpose, which usually it's not, you know, there's a reason they're asking for money, I guess is the easiest way to put it. And again, everybody, I have a very blessed life. I can't really complain. And so, you know, but yeah, it is what it is. But I wouldn't expect to get it back. You never should. I mean, I never expect to get my money back. All right, so yeah, after last week's bearish action, yeah, market ripped up. We'll see if it continues. Y'all slap that like button, team. We appreciate it. All right, so here's Nvidia, here's Apple. We're gonna put up some futures too. Look, we are in a NASDAQ short. Green so far. I might add to it if we get some good action here. All right, we're gonna add to it just because we can. All right, so we're in 2 contracts of the NASDAQ here. Slightly green. I'd love for it to dip down enough for me to take some profit. All right, so we're down. We're up 25 bucks. I definitely don't want a retracement and a move back up. I would like a breakdown, of course. There we go. All right, I'm gonna cut half of that off there. Just lock that in. And then we'll probably go ahead and take the rest off. Just lock in a little $100 gain early this morning. So not bad. Here's the NASDAQ trend over the day so far. Like you can kind of see a really obvious trend. Yesterday though, huge upward moves yesterday. Really nice day, all the way into after hours. We've been downtrending a little bit this morning. You can kind of see on the middle side what the NASDAQ 100 looks like right now. So here's the NASDAQ 100. I'm kind of bearish. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and bet again on the short side after this little pop. Why late today? Oh, there's nothing really going on right now. It's kind of a boring day. You know, we don't really have much economic reports today and tomorrow. Are kind of light economic wise. Alright, another breakdown here. We're gonna go ahead and scalp that out and get out of that. So another $80, $100 real quick. Hey. Yeah, just be careful, pawn. So one thing that I see a lot, and I'm not saying it is, and I hope it's not at least, you know. One of the things I see a lot, brother, is like I see on my Facebook personally, as well as any job site, I see scammers, and they tell people crazy unrealistic terms. You know what I mean? So they tell people, like on my Facebook, for instance, I see people be like, hey, we got a data entry job. It pays $1,000 a week. You know, it's simple data entry. You know, the hours are something really nice. Like they're trying to make people click, right? So they're like, yeah, the hours are from 9 in the morning to 2 p.m. You make $1,000 a week. You know, blah, 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 blah. And they're just trying to sell you on this job. Then usually pretty quickly comes, hey, well, you've got the job way too easily. And then they ask you to send them like a startup cost for either like a uniform or for putting them in the system or whatever. Anybody hiring you will never ask you to pay for anything, you know, including a plane ticket, including travel. Like if somebody's going to hire you guys like that, they're going to pay for it all, you know. And if they don't, it could be a scam. If they're asking you to send them money, and again, what these scams thrive off of is people are so like excited for the job. Like they give them such good terms and they're so excited for the job that they kind of ignore some red flags. And so again, if it's not true, or if it is true, I wish you guys the best. I hope she gets it and, you know, can make some money. Yeah, these are futures. Because the other thing is, if it's simple data entry, you shouldn't need a move there, number one. I would just be very careful. You know, again, a lot of those jobs scam you. I see them a lot. I've had to report so many on social media because they're just scamming people. And again, you see, they're like, hey, so they'll act like what they'll do is they'll act like they're a recruiter. And they'll be like, yeah, this job just opened up. Reply this if you want it, right? And then I see a bunch of people on Facebook say, oh, I want it. And then I almost always write at the bottom, scam. Do not give them info. Do not try to sign up. Never send them money. These are most likely people overseas that it's a numbers game for them. Like, they can kind of throw it out there to enough people. Eventually, they're going to find somebody that's desperate enough for the job that'll actually pay whatever they're asking. And they'll say, yeah, it's $100 startup fee. You know, just send it to me in crypto, they'll say, or send it to me in WhatsApp, or send it to me in something that you're not going to really be able to get your money back. So just be careful, you know. Nvidia will, yeah, look at Nvidia, guys. Nvidia breaking highs right now. Up to almost 527s, 526.50s currently. Man, Nvidia was what drug the market up. Yeah, man, they're sneaky, bro. They're really sneaky. Those things are really sneaky, and they prey off of people that like want to work and they want a job. It sucks, man. It's terrible, you know. All right, so look at the NASDAQ rip back up some too. All right, we got about 200 people here. What's up with Darsh? Yeah, you can see the NASDAQ 100 flying up. Still in this trend, though, I would say. All right. All right, team. So again, we got a little move up. All right, what is today? Today is 1/9/24. Reverse cup and handle. What's up, Joshua? I was watching a stream of yours from last week, thinking it was today live. Took me 15 minutes. Hey, well, you're here on the right one, bro. No, never heard of it straight. Dead cat bounce yesterday? Maybe. Why so down after yesterday? We're not down that much. I mean, again, Nvidia is still helping the market up, and I see Nvidia is starting to push towards. I'm gonna buy this right now. I'm gonna buy this because Nvidia is starting to push towards the highs of the day. So Nvidia is at 426.60. The high of the day is 427 even. So Nvidia is starting to run. All right, so we're flat here. Yeah, so we're holding this in anticipation of Nvidia getting potentially ready to test. You know, this is the NASDAQ 100. And so, you know. All right, so we're still in this here. So pay that. Yeah, this music's a little odd. Amazon today, we'll watch it for sure. Chip it up. Yeah, Microchip's doing crazy stuff. All right, so we're kind of flat on this position right now. Yeah, but what do you mean never lost? So that must mean that they're only long-term investing. So if you only go long on the upside, then yeah, you're probably never going to lose long-term if you're buying up index funds or blue chips. So if you buy, like, an example of this is like, okay, if I decide to buy Apple, Amazon, Meta, Walmart, and I sit on those for 5 years plus, I'm probably going to be 100% accurate. And that's the powerful edge that people miss out on the long side in blue chips. They're certainly not day trading, I'll put it that way. Yeah, they're certainly not day trading. So I was buying this hoping Nvidia would ramp up, but it looks like I'm losing on this now. We're going to have to get ready to cut it if it breaks down underneath this. All right, we'll give it 1 second. Look at Nvidia. Where's Tesla at today? Tesla down a little bit, but still had a pretty good day yesterday, right? Let's see. Yeah, Tesla had a green day yesterday, as did almost everything else. All right, now we're popping back up a little bit. Again, I'm watching Nvidia very close. All right, now we're right back up. All right, now we're flat on the position. All right, come on, Nvidia, let's ride. There's Nvidia starting to test. All right, so again, we're close to flat. There's Nvidia starting to push at 267.70. So this should drag the NASDAQ 100 up enough for me to play with it. All right, so we're right around. Again, Nvidia just broke highs. All right, so again, we're flat. All right, so again, we're sideways. Again, we're in this position. We got two contracts. All right, so again, Nvidia rejected as well. So you can see the NASDAQ 100 is acting similar to Nvidia. Yeah, but 15 to 1 reward to risk at 20 at difficult to accomplish even at a 20% accuracy rate. You know? Like, you have to think about it. Like, yeah, like a 20 to 1 or a 15 to 1 reward to risk ratio is going to be incredibly difficult even at 20%. Like 1 out of 5 trades are not going to give you a 15 to 1 reward to risk ratio very often, at least. You know, so again, I think you got to have a little bit more reasonable expectations there. All right, so again, we're slightly red on this position. I want to see Nvidia make that other turn, though. Yeah, but what are you testing it with, Jarrett? I guess it depends on what your tester is. What your sample size is. There's a lot of nuance behind it, like what your sample size is. All right, so there we go. We're almost green. And again, if you're right, congrats, bro. That's a great system. You know. All right, so nice little rip up. We're gonna go take another half off, lock the profit in. We're up about 80, 90 bucks on this one. And again, no matter what, we'll be at least close to flat. Yeah. Yeah, so sorry. I'm talking with Pawn about, what we were talking about this morning. Yeah, not a lot. Again, we're slightly green here. We've already taken some off. I can let the rest roll, and if it follows, great. If not, yeah, let me go ahead and do a poll. My bad, guys. Does yesterday's bullish market action continue today? Yes or no? Vote on the poll. Does yesterday's bull market action continue today? Yes or no? Why Nvidia and AMD up right now? I think they just started to run. Let me see. Let me look this up. Sorry, I gotta kind of pay attention to this trade. All right, so Intel unveils a plan to bring the AI personal computer to your next car. Nvidia. Yeah, I don't know if they debuted new offering in video gaming and automotive tech at the CES conference on Monday is what happened for Nvidia. That's what's dragging the market up like this. Yeah, almost all job scams. Yeah, so we're trading the futures market right now, which has currencies. We're trading the NASDAQ 100 right now. We're watching Nvidia, Tesla, a bunch of other stocks too to see if we get some good action. We're slightly green here, up 30 bucks. And I just like to let this ride a little bit. We're getting very flat action. Nvidia rejecting, right? You can kind of see how the NASDAQ 100 index fund is moving with Nvidia here. I'd love to see a little bounce though. Yeah. I see a huge head and shoulders forming on 2 hour. Yeah, so we got this nice rip up. We're up about 135. We're going to lock that in and take that profit. So a nice little gain there. We'll see if we get some good action. But yeah, we bought the dip. The dip worked. Yeah, guys, so I'm talking with a... Yeah. Yeah. All-time high incoming, 70% long breakout traders. So yeah, any news? Let me see if probably the longest futures trade I've ever seen you take. Yeah, it's early in pre-market, brother. So it's early in pre-market, which is when we kind of take our positions a little bit more. We trade a little bit more early. Like earlier in the morning, we're trying to build up that cushion, right? So we're trying to just kind of trade longer term, smaller size trades, you know. When Nvidia reversed from the top today, I don't know. So there's Nvidia starting to rip, which is the whole thesis of this futures trade I just got out of. The whole thesis was like, look, I'm going to get into this position, and I think Nvidia is going to test highs, and when it does, it's going to drag the NASDAQ 100 up, and that's exactly what happened. The NASDAQ 100 ripped up from it. All right, so what's up, Leo? All right, so again, look at Nvidia. There goes Nvidia breaking the all-time highs, which is what we were watching for. So again, now Nvidia's at 528. 528's on Nvidia, still pushing up some. All right. Sorry, working on some business in the background here. All right, what are your thoughts on Boeing? I bought Boeing yesterday. We're kind of flat on the position, you know. So we bought Boeing, it ripped up, and then we took some profit. I might actually add a little bit back to it today. Alright. Boyle? Yeah, Boyle is up. What kind of ETF is this? So I forgot what. Well, Boyle is oil, right? Boyle is Ultra Bloomberg Natty Gas. Okay. Yeah, I don't really trade natty gas that much. I'm mostly, if I trade oil, but I don't even trade oil that much. All right, so look at the SPY, the market's still ripping up. So that thesis I gave earlier about Nvidia breaking highs and that dragging the NASDAQ 100 up was correct here. So it was correct. Oil is ripping up today. If we look at oil, here's crude flying up today. Very nice day. Good volatility for crude too. We've been in this long trend for crude for a minute. We'll see if we continue that trend. Yeah, Bitcoin flying up. Bitcoin all hit 47.8K. But again, we'll see if the ETF is approved. Let me look at Twitter. See, any updates on the Bitcoin ETF? VanEck CEO says their spot Bitcoin ETF will start trading on Thursday in 2 days. Yeah, so a lot of people are acting like the Bitcoin ETF is automatically approved, and I don't know if it's going to yet, guys. Tomorrow's the deadline. Remember, January 10th is the deadline. Bitcoin at 47,000 right now, 47K. So Bitcoin moving nicely, but whether it continues is a different story. We'll see. All right, there's the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ's still in this trend. I think we can kind of see this trend here. Yeah, Sam said, why don't I show my trades on screen? Because I'm not trying to I'm trying to limit pressure. Pressure kills profit. Like, I'd rather just kind of trade and not worry about everybody seeing every trade I get into, to be honest. You know, I don't claim to be an expert or anything like that. So, I mean, I have a feeling it won't be approved. That's my gut instinct as well. I don't know if I'm right. We'll see. But that's what I'm thinking as well. Who knows, though? Hey, what's up, Jonathan? Yeah, I think it'll come this year, but not in January is my guess. My guess is it's going to be here this year, but it's not going to be in January. All right, so we're going to go ahead and buy this dip now. So we bought the dip. We might add another position to it, attacking this little slight upward trend. We'll see if Nvidia makes another test or another run here. But we went ahead and bought the dip. Ooh, dude, my ankle's sore, bro. So I rolled against one of my coaches yesterday. And I tapped him. Really good feeling. Really good feeling. I guillotined him. I think it was an arm end guillotine. And I just got a really good bite of it. And, but yeah. Feels good. Afterwards, I don't know, somewhere along the roll, though, I hurt my leg. You know. So. And I'm alright. But, like, I don't know if I'm going to go today. My leg hurts. My ankle is what it is. All right, so we got this big dip here. Part of me wants to add to it too. We're gonna add to it, see if we can fix our average. And we're taking a swing based off of what we made already. But we are not gonna hold this like for a big breakdown. We're gonna have to cut this pretty soon if we keep falling here. We're at the bottom of the trend. Again, we break underneath this, we're gonna have to just cut it and move on with our day. Very close to exiting. Yeah, I see Tesla breaking down under the 200 EMA. I gotta just cut it. Not worth the risk of holding that. I see Tesla. Look at Tesla here on the top right. It's starting to flush down. And so, yeah, just not worth holding that. Either way, I think Bitcoin will make a correction if the ETF is approved just by the rumor, sell the news type thing. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know if there is a symbol for the Bitcoin ETF yet. All right, so we did get a little pop-up. Maybe I got faked out here. That's okay if I did. All right, so looking at our poll, 67% of people think the bullish action continues into today. 67%. There's 64% now. 34% think we're going to drop a little bit this morning. We'll see if we do. Watching Boeing a little bit as well. All right, so it looks like me cutting that position was the right move. I don't know, Robert. Ask your accountant, bro. I have no idea, dude. Ask your accountant, brother. Yeah. People always ask me these really nuanced tax questions. I'm not a CPA, bro. Ask your accountant, dude. I see Nvidia going down to 509 maybe then when we open, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I mean, it's up so much is the thing. So it's up so much right now. Hey, congrats, Joshua. Hey, that's great, man. Congrats, dude. All right, so Tesla bounced it up a little bit. All right, team. What's the best skill for trading? I would say risk management system. Oh, dude, my leg hurts. All right, so we're consolidating here. Let me hit my coffee. bad. Yeah, interesting story about some tunnels found in New York. I guess we are breaking down underneath this trend a little bit here. We are starting to flush down underneath this trend. Catch it back up on chat. When everyone thinks they are smart and there will be a sell in news, there won't be any. Does anyone have TopSec access through a browser, or do I download something on my MacBook? It's a browser. I saw the cup and handle play out. Yeah, you mentioned you have a realtor license. I'm thinking of getting it. Any advice? Is the test hard? I'm going to preface this with I have no idea what you should do. I'm not an investment or real estate professional. Always ask your own. I do have my license, but this is not to be taken as real estate advice in any way possible. All right, so again, should not be taken as real estate advice in any way possible. I do have my real estate license. It was very easy for me to get it in Texas. You know, by the time from the point in which I decided to take my real estate exam to the point where I actually got my real estate exam was about a week and a half. You know, so like in Texas, I did mine through Champions Real Estate. And basically what I did was like, I studied it. I think they changed the rules, but they allowed an open book test when I did it. It was online. And so I took all the required courses and coursework. And then the test, a lot of people say the test is hard. I passed it my first try, but basically I took a lot of the test work. It took me like a week to like take the courses and pass the exams, the course exams, not the actual real estate licensing exam, but the course exams. And then I scheduled my actual like real estate exam test, like my licensing exam test, went and took it, passed it, and then got my license. You know, the whole thing cost like $1,000 maybe, give or take, and it was pretty quick. So good luck, man. It depends on where you are, though. Depends on where you are. You know, I'm sure some states have easier, some states have harder conditions. What's ETF mean? Exchange traded fund. Yeah, I don't think it's oversold right now. My break. Yeah, it means exchange traded fund. Yeah, I don't know what direction the market's going. I really don't. What's up, Jamal? I've met a lot of realtors, and let's just say the test can't be that hard. Yeah, I mean, real estate is kind of like a known job for people who did not succeed at anything else. But it's not easy to succeed at real estate. It's really not easy. Like being a real estate agent in general is incredibly difficult. It's not an easy thing at all. It's very difficult to succeed at real estate. The people who do the best are the people who do the best at real estate are typically people who have really big circles that like know a lot of people, you know, that know a lot of people, have really big friend groups, have really big connections, and people that have a really big network are the people who are going to find the easiest time succeeding at real estate. Because if you have a big network already, you just market to that network. And, you know, I'm actually kind of a shy and a nervous person. I am not super outgoing. Like, I think a lot of people might dream and think that I'm like some super outgoing dude, and I can be, right? Like I can be outgoing. Definitely top 3 most outgoing people in the world. I'm really not. This is just a joke. I'm really not an outgoing person. I'm actually kind of a homebody, like shy person. When I was young, people always joke around with me because when I was a teenager, I was really shy, and so I wouldn't pursue any girls. You know, and like girls would think that I was like mysterious and like I had options because I wasn't all over them. But it wasn't that at all. I was just really freaking shy. It kind of worked out, because, again, some people thought I was, like, mysterious or whatever. But the reality of it was I was just really freaking shy and nervous and got really awkward and nervous in front of people. And I think they eventually found that out, I'm sure. But point is, I'm not the type of person that can, like, pester somebody over something. You know, I'm not the type of person who can bug somebody over and over again about something. I'm just not that type of person. Like, going door to door seems like a nightmare to me. You know, a lot of real estate agents go door to door. I just couldn't do it. You know, I had a job where I gave out flyers at a pet food store. You know, I'd give out flyers for like a dog food. That job, I can credit that job to making me say screw this and needing, like, when I was a teenager, I had a job handing out coupons, basically. Bro, and some people are just so rude to people, you know? Like, some people are just mean, you know? Like, if you're rude to the person handing you coupons at the pet store, like, you know, you're just a bad person. I'm just gonna say that. But... Any updates? Not really any economic reports coming out today. Today's a pretty mild day for economic reports. Yeah, I'm introverted for sure. I don't know. I'm honestly somewhere in the middle. Like, I can be extroverted. My daughter jokes around that, like, I can very much be a people person and extroverted and talk to everybody and outgoing and crack jokes and in front of lots of people, like at dinner or whatever, during like Christmas dinner with my wife's family and everything like that. So again, if you ask them, they're certainly going to say I'm outgoing. But I'm honestly not. I kind of force that out of myself. But I don't necessarily enjoy being that way. It's very hard to explain. Like, I get really nervous and anxious. And so, again, I think it's ironic the fact that I'm in front of 450 people, almost 500 people right now. Because if I was in front of 500 real people, I wouldn't be able to say a word. I would freeze up, talk fast, you know. Anyways. All right, so we're still going to pull back a little bit. We're kind of still in this trend. I hate to confirm this trend because we were long in this trend earlier, and now we're kind of still in it on the upside. But I think we just got to wait and see what happens here. I think the market corrected last week. We had a red week in the NASDAQ and the S&P last week. And now, so far this week, we've had a bullish week. You know, Monday, yesterday was very good, very strong day. And so we'll see if that bullish action continues in today. Bitcoin almost up to 48 or almost up to 47,000. Almost up to 47,000. So y'all are real? What, Ryan? Nah, y'all aren't real, man. Y'all are just a bunch of names on the screen, brother. You know. The internet's not real, guys. You didn't know that? All right. No, I'm just joking. I know you guys are real. It's because you're already used to being on this platform. Kind of. I mean, again, the easiest way to describe myself is that if I don't know you in person, I'm probably not going to talk to you that much. If I know you well, I'll never shut up. You know? And so it really depends on how well I know you. Whether I open up or not. It depends on how well I know you. And I'm sure a lot of people are the same way. We only exist in your head? Yeah, I know. Love you. Have a great day. Everything red pre-market? Yeah, everything is kind of red. Again, we're green right now on this trade. We are in a NASDAQ trade short on the E-mini. I'm going to go ahead and lock half of that in because we can. I'm going to add a little bit to this, I think. So we're in the E-mini S&P 500 futures contract. Appreciate the knowledge. It's good to hear and learn from someone. Hey, yeah, all good, man. How did you feel when I first started streaming? It was kind of a process. Somebody joked around that I was like Jim Morrison. You know how Jim Morrison of The Doors, when he first would play in public, he would turn the other way. He wouldn't look at people. He would turn songs until he kind of got used to it. When I live streamed, it was a similar thing, where when I first started live streaming, I didn't show my face at all. I was super nervous about it. And then eventually I started getting more and more comfortable with it. It was really intimidating at first. People don't understand how intimidating live streaming can be. A lot of people are scared to do it because it can be very intimidating. But once you get used to it, it's fine. All right, so we added the position. Looks like this was a bad move. We're flat, completely flat on this position now. Again, this is the E-mini S&P 500. So we're shorting this. Is this my full-time job? I mean, I don't know what you would want to call it. I certainly make good money from it. Ask me if I live on day trading, and I don't. I wish I did, but again, I'm not really claiming to. Mostly I'm is long-term invest. Like, I do better at long-term investing than anything, and I think the biggest edge is in the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, gold, real estate. Modern investing is inflation hedging, right? So you're trying to hedge against long, and so you do that by parking your money in the S&P, the NASDAQ, gold, real estate, other, but I do day trade, of course. I day trade futures, stocks, forex sometimes, and so we do day trade every day, but I certainly don't live off of it, and that's not really what my channel's about. I don't want to be another day trading guru out here slanging courses, telling people I'm more profitable than I am, and desperately trying to make people think I'm just some great, powerful day trader who, makes 5% a day or whatever it is, which is total nonsense. Again, and if I was following somebody online, I would rather somebody that's just honest about it. And again, I'm not claiming to be experts. I'm not even claiming to be a good trader. And I'm sure some people would agree with that. It's a free resource and community. Today's a slow day. We don't really have any economic reports for the first half of this week, but my channel mostly covers economic data. So we cover CPI and FOMC meetings and Jerome Powell and Tesla press conferences. Stuff like that is like my go-to. That's a big bounce here, team. Anybody see how big that bounce was? That was a huge bounce on the S&P. I might want to pivot back to trading the NASDAQ here. Yeah, we got some stuff coming out later this week. So later this week is a huge, so Thursday we have CPI, which is arguably one of the biggest economic drops of the month. CPI is the price data that drops on Thursday. On Friday, we have the other side of the inflation metric, which is PPI. It stands for the producer price index. So Thursday CPI, Friday PPI, and then also Friday we have big bank earnings. So banks, I'm going to cut this trade and get out small and then just accept the big win that we made in this one already. But yeah, so inflation data and earnings season has started on Friday with earnings from banks. Specifically, we got like JP Morgan, a bunch of other ones. Yeah, and it really gives the haters who, again, if you're hating on me, even though I'm telling people I'm not an expert. If you're hating on me, even though I'm telling people that I'm not an expert, not to copy me. I don't sell a course. I don't sell my own service. I only have 2 sponsors, which I tell people very transparently that they're not sponsored, or that they pay me money, so I'm biased, right? If you're hating on me, most of the time it's just insecurity on their part. So, Bitcoin, guys. The question is, do we hit the ETF approval? Does it happen? That's the real question this week. Does the Bitcoin ETF get approved? We're getting close to the deadline. I should have stayed in that short, by the way, but it's all right. We're gonna go to the NASDAQ here. We just broke out of that NASDAQ trend. Yeah, definitely top 3. Alright, so we're starting to flush down. I don't know what I want to do with this. I'm not even saying anybody's hating. I'm just saying y'all should appreciate the channel. So let's ask the chat. Will the Bitcoin ETF get approved? guys? Will the Bitcoin ETF get approved? Hey. All right. Hey, send. Hey. Oh, she didn't hear me. Oh, I'm sorry. My gut instinct is no as well. You know, I think that people are already betting that it's going to be approved. All right, if we get a small bounce up, I'll short, and that's small enough. Terrible feel, but I guess it's my fault. Yeah, I think I hope it's approved. I really do. I just don't know if it's gonna be. Alright, so we're gonna take 2 contracts there on the NASDAQ. We got a cushion, so we'll be alright. Yeah, maybe we should trade the E-mini instead the S&P. If one is approved, do all of them get approved? Most likely. I mean, I don't think it's automatic, but I think if one gets approved, they're going to approve many other ones. I don't think they can play favoritism with it. All right, so we were green. Yeah, I just don't think they can play favoritism. So I think if one gets approved, the others are going to get approved too, most likely. At least some of the other ones. Not all of them necessarily, but at least some of them. Alright, so we're flat, shorting the NASDAQ here. Slightly green. Where's Apple at? What's Apple doing? Okay, there's Apple. Apple down a little bit today, surprisingly enough. Alright, slightly green, up 15 bucks. Just break down a little bit so I can take profit and protect the trade. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and lock this in just to protect the trade. I don't want to take too much risk, and I think I'm leaving some money on the table because I do think it'll break down, which you can kind of see it doing now. But just for risk management purposes, I'm gonna cut it. I don't know. Here's my thing though. Like, right, this is my guess. Okay, so if the ETF is going to get approved, right? So if the Bitcoin ETF is going to get approved, right? If the Bitcoin ETF is going to get approved, why are they waiting till the very last day? Waiting till the very last day, January 10th, would be indicative of it not getting approved and them either delaying it or pushing it, you know, or whatever, right? So that's my guess. Is I think if they were going to approve it, I don't think they would wait until the deadline to approve it. You know, I don't think they would do that. I think if they were going to approve it, they would just approve it, you know. And so the fact that they're waiting all the way back until the January 10th deadline to give the green light for it, I think could be indicative of them not approving it and them delaying the F approval to later this year, potentially. That's what my guess is that they're going to delay it, you know. And I think too many people are loading up with the expectation that it's automatically going to get approved, and I don't necessarily think it is. And I hope it is, and I hope I'm wrong, and I certainly could be wrong here. Like, I certainly could be wrong. But again, I don't like the fact that the deadline is January 10th and it's January 9th right now, and we still haven't heard anything. I don't think that's necessarily a good sign leading up to it. I think, again, if they were going to approve it, they would have approved it whenever the conditions were met, regardless of the date. And so, I think the fact that they're pushing this all the way back until the deadline, again, is indicative of them potentially delaying it. And again, I hope I'm wrong. And again, don't get mad at the messenger. Again, I'm literally telling you guys I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. That, you know, it could get approved. sometime soon or whatever it is, and that I hope I'm wrong, and that I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm just kind of speculating on this part. But again, I just don't know if that's a good sign or not. Jim Cramer says Bitcoin is topping out, one of the biggest bull signs of crypto ever. Jim Cramer, bearish Bitcoin. All right, so here's the breakdown of the NASDAQ. The problem is Nvidia starting to rip up a little bit, huh? We're up 25, 30 bucks. I've been day trading this all morning. There we go. It's a nice little breakdown. 50, 60, 90. Boom. Just made about 100 bucks here. You love to see it. So we've been doing pretty well on the trades this morning. Yeah, that might be the biggest bull sign ever, Jim Cramer. Yeah, reverse Cramer. I think a lot of people are doing just that. Hey, y'all slap that like button. Hit the subscribe button, team. We appreciate it. So far, we have... Oh, we got well over 100 likes. We're already there. Thank you, team. Yeah, so we caught the short. I'm thinking about adding some more here on this little bounce. The problem, I'm watching like Tesla though. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit. Not the best fill though here, unfortunately. Might add another position on the top if we bounce up a little bit more. All right, there we go. Another green. All right, so we just scalped that really quickly here. Got a little $30 bet in. According to the charts, I say no approval just yet. Yeah, again, in the end, nobody knows, man. You get a lot of people that just get really emotional about stuff. And so, you could always gauge how emotional somebody is to their reactions to me saying something like that. Again, it should be something in which, you know, me speculating on whether it gets approved by tomorrow or not should be understandable, considering it's January 9th and the 10th is the deadline and we don't have any news regarding ETF approval. Right? And so because of that, it should be very obvious that, you know, it could potentially not get approved. And again, I hope it does. It could get approved. Of course, it could get approved. They might be just waiting till the last second and approving it. That's certainly possible. And again, I hope that's the case. But either way, I think it's open to speculate about. And I don't think anything's set in stone yet. I think a lot of people get really extended, especially in crypto positions, to where anything even slightly construed as negative makes them emotional. And I think in that situation, you got to just be confident about your own bias. Which indicator do you think is the most profitable? Volume weighted average price, if we're talking about just basic indicators, the VWAP. I should have held that short position. It's all right. My direction was correct. I just cut it a little bit too short. Ten-year top it out. Is the 10-year up today? Let me see. Yeah, it depends on what you're doing, of course. Big breakdowns. Look at the market breakdown here. Wow. Albertsons reported earnings. What screen? Albertsons. I haven't been around in Albertsons in a long time. Albertsons reported fourth quarter adjusted EPS of 79 cents. They expected 69 or 66 cents. Rev of 18.6 billion. They expected 18.37 billion. Identical sales plus 2.9% year over year. They expected 1.2%. Hey, thanks, Bulldog, my guy. Thanks, brother. You can see Albertsons numbers right there. Shout out to my guy, Bulldog Trading, in the chat. Appreciate the love, brother. Appreciate the love. Y'all go give that man a subscribe if you haven't. Again, if you want to check out one of my sponsors, and again, I'm going to preface this with I am incredibly biased in their favor because they pay me money. And so I'm biased. But if you want to check out Top Step, it's a funded account program in futures. What they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill. We're going to jump in this short right here. They give you a demo and they test your skill. And if you can pass the test, great. We're going to go ahead and lock that in, scalp that little 30 or 40 bucks. If you can pass the test, great. They fund you between 50 to 150K depending on which package you have. If you can't pass the test, you're going to lose less than you would putting the money up yourself. And again, the futures market is really useful. A lot of people in forex should be trading futures because there's no PDT in futures. You don't need VPNs and all that stuff to do it. You can trade some currencies. I can trade gold. I can trade the S&P 500. I can trade the NASDAQ 100 in futures, no PDT rule. And the patterns are very similar to blue chip stocks. Again, there's just no PDT rule. And again, just taking these challenges, build your skill. The base one's a 50K combine. It's only 49 bucks. They give you a $50,000 demo account. If you can make 3K in that demo account without losing 2K, so a 2 to 3 ratio, a reasonable expectation ratio, then they fund you 50K as long as you can follow the rest of their rules with a 90% split. There's free funding coaches. Again, just taking this build your skill, and it's a good middle ground of pressure to where you're not risky. You can try to look cool and put up thousands of dollars yourself in the market and most likely lose it because most lose money. It's almost certain you're probably going to lose your first couple day trading accounts. That's just the way it goes. They call it market tuition. So you can either put up thousands of yourself in those situations, or you can try a funded account program. And again, I think most traders lose regardless of where they go on Top Step or Toss or wherever. But on Top Step, it's much cheaper. You learn how to trade, and if you're good enough to pass it, you still get a 90% split anyway. And so again, it's kind of the best of both worlds in my opinion. But again, I am biased. You want to confirm all this stuff with them. They are a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased. But check them out. Here's the link. Great way to help support your boy here. Albertsons. Yeah, they go. Beardless John. Yeah, here's Beardless John. Look at him. What a handsome man right there. Look at that. Face of a genius right there. Face of a genius. All right, Mark is still flushing down here. Wow. Hey, nice. Hey, congrats. Yeah, so again, one of the reasons I draw these trends, guys, so you can kind of see this here. One of the reasons I draw trends like this is because when the trends break, those are some of the most powerful systems. Those are some of the most powerful strategies, is when these trends break. Look at the trend break here. Beautiful trend break. So again, you have the trend line right here. Most of the time what I do, let me show you guys what I do with this a lot. Most of the time what I do is I draw the trend. When the trend breaks like this, I can either short it right where the trend is. So if this continues, I either short it here after the break, or I'll wait for it to break down, wait for a bounce, and then I short it in that direction, you know, like this. Works really, really well, just attacking that trend break. Because most of the time when a stock or a security or a futures contract or whatever has been in a trend this long, when it finally breaks, other traders see that weakness and they start attacking that weakness on the downside. So that's kind of why it works, like psychologically, if that makes sense. So I hope, yeah. New favorite channel. Love that you're being real. Hey, thank you, Trent. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Yeah, the 10-year up over 4% at 4.03% right now. 4.03%, right around 4% on 10-year Treasury notes or 10-year Treasury bonds, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, Nvidia up to 526.50, well over 500. Broke 500 yesterday and held it for once. Last time it broke 500, it broke and then it broke down immediately after. This time it actually held it. We'll see if it continues to hold. Face not even a mother could love. Man, truer words have never been said, sir. Apple at 184s right now, at 184s. You guys ready? Where was this pullback yesterday? Apple stock starting to feel like bags. Yeah, I'm in Apple too. I added a little bit to Apple yesterday as well. But again, it's up so much yesterday, it doesn't matter. Remember, I ended up buying Boeing yesterday. PayPal down 2%. I'm in PayPal right now, but I bought PayPal a long time ago. So my average price in PayPal right now is $51.40 something cents. And just to put it into perspective, PayPal is over 60 still, although it's dipping a little bit. PayPal was very green yesterday, but it is down significantly in pre-market this morning. Still break it down. Look at Nvidia. Nvidia right around that 200 EMA volume weighted average price level. Look at this. Right around the 200 EMA and the VWAP level. Yeah, no economic reports today, unfortunately. Just not any big economic reports. So. Market's still flushing down here. We still got about 50 minutes until the open. 50 minutes or so, give or take. Is it time to buy the dip? Guys, let's ask. Is it time to buy the dip in markets, guys? Answer in chat. Let me know what you guys think. Apple is down a significant amount today, so Apple is down a lot. No, don't buy. Chips and dips. Sit on the sidelines. Just holding. No. Can you check gold, please? What's going on? One more leg down. No. Gold currently sitting at 2043. It is popping up, though. Look at gold, guys. So look at gold rip. Again, I can put gold up here as well. Here's gold. What's a better gold futures to look at? So here's, I know there's a better one. Somebody give me the symbol of futures in gold. What's the symbol of futures in gold? We can see Bitcoin futures. The interesting thing is that you can trade crypto in futures. Now, the liquidity's terrible, so it's got to be kind of like a longer-term day trade. But you can trade crypto in futures. I know it's GC. I was using GC, but this is what it looks like right now. Unless there's a different contract, this is what it looks like. Is there a more liquid version of this in futures? Because look at this is not very liquid at all. GCF4, let's try that one. No, that one's pretty bad too. Let me see what the newest gold symbol is. Try February. No. Yeah, I mean, F4 doesn't look better anyway. Yeah, it's all good. We're going to put the NASDAQ up. Man, look at the NASDAQ break here. Wow. Yeah, I'll play with it on another screen and we'll see if we get anything good, but let's find a different one. Ooh, I found one. Here's the better one. So the better one is just GC. Like, look, here it is right here. Oh, where'd it go? So yeah, here's the better gold contract. Look at that, that's much better. And you can see gold popping up a little bit. So gold's spiking some. So Tilray earnings came out. Tilray was a cannabis company. No, they are gapping up some if we look at it on the top right. Here's Tilray. Tilray, just to give you some history of this company. This company got big during what we call the cannabis boom. I think it was like 2017 or 2018. A lot of people thought cannabis was going to get legalized, and ultimately, you know, these cannabis companies were going to be wildly successful. You can see Tilray at one point was all the way up at $300 a share during the cannabis boom of 2018. Ultimately, full federal legalization never ended up happening. So it ended up correcting now some. So you're saying they're a beer company now. I haven't really been following them. Their earnings are out, though, and we'll talk about their earnings here in a second. I think their earnings are out. Let me check. But yeah, cannabis, originally a cannabis company. Yeah, so they dropped their earnings. They posted adjusted EPS of 0 cents, beat the 6-cent loss estimate. So they ended up swinging to break even. You can see Tilray numbers right here. They posted 0 cent EPS, beat the 6-cent loss estimate. Sales of 193.7 mil, missed the 195 million expected. So yeah, again, Tilray got hit 300 when we were in the cannabis boom, and then things stifled again. Nobody legalized. Like, federal legalization never happened, unfortunately. And again, I'm not a cannabis user, except for CBD, but like that's a different thing. It's just kind of a ridiculous standard in the country. You know, you got some people who just don't understand it. In the end, regardless of what, there's a few things that are obvious. Number one, cannabis is objectively less harmful than alcohol, and that's just a very obvious thing. I mean, that anybody that tries to argue against that, specifically that cannabis is less harmful objectively than alcohol, is just trying to argue, you know. That's number one. Number two is, like, you need an even standard of legalization here. You know, if we're selling liquor at gas stations, you should be legalizing cannabis. It's just, obviously, cannabis doesn't cause physical withdrawal symptoms. It doesn't cause near the inebriation levels as alcohol does. Yet alcohol is widely accepted, and all the good old boys are fine drinking alcohol, but cannabis is evil. Like, it's just silly, you know, at a certain point. And again, most of it has to do with old government, you know, control from the, you know, 60s, 70s, 80s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. So we'll see if they actually change it. You know, there's been a lot of talk about them pushing for it. And again, this is coming from somebody that doesn't use cannabis, you know. Again, I'm never saying I haven't ever, but like, I was always one of those people that got really like nervous on it. And so it's just not something that I, you know, it's not my style. I'll put it that way. But with that said, I think we should legalize it and tax it. You know, people are going to consume it regardless of whether it's legalized or not, right? So you can either let them go to a licensed dispensary that's safe, or and then tax it like we should, or you can cause them to consume it anyway, which is what they're going to do, and go to sketchy places, risk their lives, all this dumb stuff. In the end, the arguments for legalization are there. Some people are just kind of, yeah, I don't know. Look at gold though, guys. Gold is ripping up. Here's the NASDAQ on the left side. Yeah, NASDAQ's been in this big downward trend after breaking out of that longer term trend. I see Boeing start to bounce, Apple bouncing up a little bit here. Let's look at Tesla here. Tesla at 238.50s. Not everything. Yeah, but I mean, even like cigarettes, right? Cigarettes are so much more dangerous than cannabis. Yet, they're allowed. And so it's just kind of the only reason cannabis isn't legal now is because of lobbyist groups from law enforcement, the private prison industry, and the pharmaceutical industry. Those three industries are single-handedly keeping the prohibition of it, is what's going on. Long E-mini right now. Yeah, we got a big pullback here. We'll see if it's time to buy the dip or not. Is it time? Look, so this is a pretty big dip. Look at Tesla bounce up though. Tesla 238.60s here. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting data on that V regarding that. Standalone it isn't the worst thing for you, and in some studies it's actually shown to improve like cognitive functions and focus. The problem with it is that smoking anything is bad for you, right? It doesn't matter what it is. Smoking anything and inhaling that is bad, and so you shouldn't do that regardless. And that's where it gets all the bad stuff, you know. Yeah, I should have stayed in that short. Remember, guys, I was shorting this way up here. I think it was way up here. It might have been here, but I was shorting this like deep up there. Should have held it. Yeah, they're not the ones that are doing it, Corey, because most of those things are already legal. Like hemp is legal already. Like, you know, yeah. So that battle is already over. Like hemp is legal already. You know what I mean? So this isn't a hemp issue. This maybe that might have been the problem back in like the 19 or the that might have been the problem in the 1900s, but that's not the issue anymore. The issue now is mostly law enforcement. You know, it's law enforcement and it's the prison industry, which are very big industries that work. Very big industries at work. Lobbyists, like basically what happens is that they put out a bunch. They donate a bunch of PAC money to both sides, and you know, because the politicians are getting that money from these donors, because of that they toe the company line in that regard, and that's why. You know, and again, I'm not picking sides, as both of them really. Biggest anti-cannabis is a company called Abbott Laboratories, actually a public company, believe it or not. Yeah, I mean, I smoke cigarettes a lot, you know, during my life. Like, I smoked cigarettes from like 15 to like 25. The way I quit was very simple. I went from vaping nicotine, and then I went from vaping nicotine to vaping CBD, and then I went from vaping CBD to nothing, you know. And now I'm okay. Like, I don't even need to, like, I can be around it and be fine now and not even need to do it. And so I did it with like a process, but can't say what you should do. Let's see what Bitcoin does here, guys. Get on a different topic. Bitcoin all the way up to 47.3 thousand. It's big paper and oil. It might be, Corey. Maybe there's just maybe I just don't know enough about it. Like, that's possible for sure. I'm not claiming to know the ins and outs, and you might be right, brother. I don't know. What I'm saying though is that, so if that's the case, explain to me why. Explain to me how the legalization of Delta 9 has any type of effect on hemp, paper, and oil. You know, again, I'm not saying it doesn't, but explain the correlation there because I don't know it. If there is one, I'm not sure. You know, I don't know it. And again, I'm not saying you're right or wrong. Again, I'm certainly open to learning more about it, brother. So it's all good. Again, so right now, Apple is mostly falling. Part of me wants to short this to continue that downward trend, but we have been dropping pretty significantly back since for the last 45 minutes or so. So we have been dropping a lot. Yeah, for sure, EH. Yeah, jiu-jitsu is super helpful for my cardio, man. Again, I haven't walked or ran, like I haven't used a treadmill at the gym very often since I started jiu-jitsu, because if I do, I'm gonna lose too much weight. You know, like when I started jiu-jitsu, I was like 180 pounds. At this point in time, like I'm probably like 170. Like I've lost a significant amount of weight training jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu specifically. So it's been really good for my health. It's good for me to get around and move around. But it's almost too much cardio. You know, it's great if you want to lose weight and exercise. I know a lot of people I started training with who look way different now than they did 6 months ago. And so we had one guy that was a little bit chubbier, you know, a little bit chubbier. He did jiu-jitsu for 6 months. He's super lean now, and he beats me up half the time, you know. So it's great exercise, great sport, really. Super fun, too. Yeah, sorry to hear that, DP. That's rough, brother. You know. All right, so we are pulling back a little bit. Maybe I should have stayed short here, but it's all good. Look at this big breakdown testing the lows here again, guys. So we're still testing the lows. All right, so testing lows here. I don't like this, actually. I'm going to buy this. I know this is kind of a contrarian trade. Again, I'm going to buy this, maybe add to it if we test lows. Again, I know it's kind of a contrarian trade. I just don't know if we're going to break this. All right, so we're up 30, 40 bucks. I'm just going to go ahead and cut that. So we just scalped that little move here. Yeah, I think the market's already retraced, though. All right, so we're going to go ahead and buy this again and maybe add to it a little bit more now. We've been pretty accurate on my trades. I know this is kind of, again, a contrarian trade is what I'll call it. But if we crack lows, I think we got a really obvious exit here. You know, I think if we crack this low, very easy exit that we don't really have to like think about or consider too much. We've dropped a lot significantly over the last hour or so. And, yeah, that's my thesis for this. And maybe I'm just wildly wrong here. I'm not going to add any more to this either. Yeah, I mean, it certainly could be called catching a falling knife. But sometimes that's profitable, you know. And again, I think we've built up enough cushion on the day. I mean, if you guys have been watching me trade, we've been right about almost everything so far over the last hour or two. And so, you know, I think we can take a little speculative trade here. And if we lose, it's not the end of the world. One minute chart? Yeah, I mean, sure, but we're short-term day trading. So, I mean, a 1 minute chart's what I want to look at. If I was taking longer-term trend trades or something like that, I would look at a 5 or a 15-minute chart. If I was taking longer-term trades than that, I could look at a longer-term chart than that, you know. So 1 minute chart is fine if you're taking short-term trades. The time frame of your chart should correlate with the time frame of your trades. And so if you're taking long-term trades, you should be using a long-term chart. If you're taking short-term trades, you should be using a short-term chart. Mostly, but again, I guess it depends on the system and strategy. All right, guys, so we're flat. Slightly green now. We started to bounce. Man, my wife and son and I have been watching The Wonder Years, bro. What a good freaking show. The Wonder Years, Kevin Arnold. I used to watch it at Nick at Night as a kid. But it's just good. All right, so we're moving up a little bit. Now we're rejecting here. I don't know if I like that rejection. All right, Tesla's starting to bounce. This is taking a little bit too long here, guys. A little bit too long. I should have cut it right when I said that, man. All right, so there's 8 o'clock. I don't know if the scrum is going to influence this or not. So 8 a.m. is when a lot of rogue orders start getting filled from overnight. That's the problem with the 8 a.m. level. I didn't realize it was 8 a.m. Yeah, CPI's on Thursday. All right, so we're starting to pop up. All right, so we just scalped out of that. I don't want to hold it too long. It's 8 a.m., and so I'm just going to cut it and wait. All right, team. Can you show us a strong buy or sell indicator show up in real time? I'm assuming you're talking about. I should have stayed in the trade. See, another thing you'll notice is that a lot of my trades are correct. And somebody might say, oh, well, you need to hold on to your trades longer. I understand that aspect. But you also have to understand if I do that, my accuracy rate is going to go down. And so I'm the type of trader that likes to confirm and lock in profit. And I don't mind jumping back in a trade after I've cut it and vice versa. And so while I was correct about this, we caught the bounce. Yeah, again, I'm not going to show you guys like chart prime indicators as they happen because frankly, this is a sponsored premium service. But again, you can kind of see them here, right? So here's the last strong signal. The last strong signal showed up at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes ago. 25 minutes ago. We'll call it 25 minutes ago. So right around here. So we did get a breakdown. This buy signal worked as well. This is a company called Chart Prime. It's a trading view service that you can use in crypto, forex, futures, stocks. I can put any symbol on trading view up here and it'll work for it. And again, you can kind of see how useful these are. It's not going to work every time, of course, but like they added some new things like trends. I can also see like flags, stuff like that have been really, really useful, really, really effective. So again, you can kind of see this here and like how powerful they can be. They also did this nice thing where it shows you the current trend a little bit better too. But like, look at some of these signals. I mean, I can't fake this either. So like, look at some of this, right? Strong signal here, worked. Sell signal there, worked. Strong signal there, bounced a little bit. We're gonna say it worked. Strong signal there, worked. Strong signal there, worked. Sell signal worked. This buy signal you can say didn't work. Strong signal worked. This buy signal you can say this didn't work either. Strong signal worked. This buy signal definitely worked. Huge bounce. And then this sell signal worked. This strong signal didn't work, so that's another one. And then this one definitely worked. Look at that one. Beautiful breakdown. This buy signal worked. This strong signal worked as well. And so again, I don't know how many that is. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 didn't work out of, I think I started it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 3 out of 12 didn't work, in my opinion. On a 5-minute chart, looking at the NASDAQ using the Chart Prime Market Dynamics and the Market Oracle Pro. So, you know, not too bad. 3 out of 12 didn't work. So basically 9 out of 12 worked. Pretty genuinely accurate. And again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. You know, not an investment professional. They are a sponsor of mine, so I'm certainly biased. But again, this is like $50 a month. It's pretty cheap. And again, there's a lot of other stuff that you can use as well. They have oscillators, screeners, back testers, all this cool stuff that you can use. Premium service. Again, they are a sponsor of mine though, so of course I'm biased and can't guarantee you make money or anything like that. Nobody can. But if you want 40% off of Chart Prime, you can check out the link right here and help support beginner trading. We appreciate the love. Hey, what's up, Tiny? So this is a company called Chart Prime. It's a trading view service. You see the link in the description as well as up there. Again, they are a sponsor of mine though, so I'm biased. Like I always tell people. All right, guys. So we're waiting for the market open. We got about 20 minutes here. 20 minutes. All right, so again, we did have something drop this morning I completely forgot about, I guess. We had trade deficit data. Did that influence the market? Let me see. So here's 8:30 market time. It might have, man. Look at this. So trade deficit data came out today. I didn't even realize. So import-export data. We had the trade balance today. Guys, again, trade balance today showed up at minus 63.2 billion. So which means, so the trade balance data, just to give you some perspective on it and like what's good and bad for this, right? So typically in the US, if we export more than we import, basically if we manufacture and supply more stuff to the world, that's seen as a better thing for the economy in the US, right? And so the trade balance data is that difference between imports and exports, right? So we get import-export data and then we get trade balance data. and we came in lesser negative. We're still at 63 billion imports to exports, or minus 63 billion, you know, which means that we are importing 63.2 billion more than we're exporting. But we expected 65 billion, so 63.2 versus 65. So basically meaning the percentage of difference between imports and exports was slightly better than expected for import-export data. That's how you read it. It's not a huge release, but that data did drop this morning. You know, that data did drop this morning. And just so you guys can understand how to use it. Hey, what's up, Freddie? All right, so we're still consolidating sideways, starting to bounce up a little bit here. We'll see if we continue. Yeah, Boeing's starting to test these lows at 226. I don't know what I want to do with that. Bitcoin's still sitting. Where's Bitcoin actual price here, man? Look at the S&P in the market. The Nasdaq rip. Bitcoin sitting at almost 47K right now, almost 47,000. Hey, later, DP. Have a good one, bro. Yeah, I've been getting into watches lately. I really have been getting into watches. What's the worst luxury watch brand, guys? I'm going to go with Hublot. All right, so we're starting to bounce up a little bit here. Tag. Well, I always get tags. Yeah, tags are all right. They're diving watches. Omegas are all right. Yeah, I like tags, actually. I don't like Hublots. Rolexes hold their value more than anything else. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah. So, like, if I'm buying a luxury watch, it's either going to be a cheap watch, like less than, when I say cheap, I mean like less than $500, or it's going to be a Rolex. Most Rolexes, like, people can hate on them, they can say whatever they want about them, but like the interesting part, and again, I'm certainly not telling you to buy anything. All right, I'm just not telling you to buy it. I'm not telling you to buy anything. There's always risks anytime you buy it, but Rolexes for the most part hold their value. You know, some of them have appreciated very well and kept up with markets to a certain extent. And so I think it's diversification. You know, like if you bought a Rolex in 1970, a lot of them are going to cost like $200-300. Now you can't get a good Rolex for under $8,000 or so. So they have appreciated and grown a lot. But If we're talking about cheaper brands, I like Citizen. Citizens are nice. Yeah. The way I see it, if I'm spending $5K on a watch, I'm just going to buy a Rolex. I'm not going to spend $5K. Because all the other brands, like, okay, you buy a Tag watch, you buy a Hublot watch, you buy, unless it's an AP, right? But like Richard Mille, you buy a Richard Mille, some of them are going to hold, some of them are going to appreciate. You buy a AP, some of them are going to hold, some of them are going to appreciate. You buy a Rolex, some of them are going to hold, some of them are going to appreciate. You buy Tag, you're losing money as soon as you walk out the Tag store. You buy Omega, you're losing money as soon as you walk out the Omega store. You buy any of those other big expensive watch brands, you're probably losing money on the deal, you know. And like that's the benefit of like if you can find a dealer that'll sell you a Rolex, like what's called an AD, an authorized dealer. If you can find one that'll actually sell you a Rolex. A lot of people make a living off of forming good relationships with like Rolex dealers and then getting the watch. And again, on the secondary market, it's actually more expensive to buy a Rolex. So like from a Rolex dealer themselves, I might get a watch for $10K. You know, I can go to if I wanted to, which I don't, I'm not doing this. Okay. Don't get mad at me. But if I wanted to, I could take that watch from the Rolex dealership, immediately put it on the secondary watch market, depending on the watch. It depends on the watch. But immediately put it on the secondary market and sell it for, you know, 30% premium, make 3K out of 10K watch. And so a lot of people do that for a living. And that's where you get like watch dealers, people that are flipping and selling watches. It's an interesting market for sure. And it might be something I get into in the future. I'm kind of talking to a couple people now and recently bought some, you know, but yeah. Oh, they're fake, Freddie. But, you know, some of the fakes are getting really good. Breitlings are alright. Same thing with Breitlings. You're losing money when you walk out. There's not really any, yeah, I'm certainly not telling you to buy Rolexes. What I'm trying to tell you is if you're spending $10K on a watch, you might as well, because it's going to hold its value the best relative to everything else. Domino's upgraded to a buy. Yeah, when I went and bought this watch, right, this last watch I went and bought, right, it was a process with, it was a secondary, I got it off the secondary market, so they were trying to charge me a lot. Like, I ended up ordering one watch, because I'm a Saints fan, it was like a black and gold Rolex Submariner is what it was. I ended up, he showed me the Submariner, he showed me a picture of it real quick, and I said, yeah, go ahead and order it. He's like, hey, you got to put 10% down. I'm like, okay, fine. I put the 10% down, and, I message him and I say, hey, what's the reference number for that Rolex? And he said, hey, it's 116613, which is this watch right here. Let me show you. So, which is a Submariner Rolex. It looks like this. So the watch looks like, it's not the bluesy. It's this watch right here. Hold on. All right, guys. Hey, market bounced up a little bit. We'll see if it actually holds. Anyways, it was this watch right here. So I order the watch, and when the watch comes in, and it was for a premium anyway, right? So I order this watch, right? And I'm a Saints fan, so it's like, hey, I'm gonna order the black and gold Rolex. It's cool. Anyways, I go to pick it up, and immediately, like, I kind of know my watches, right? Immediately, I recognize that it's not a 116613. That it's the older version from 1991, which is noticeably less expensive than the new one, right? So the old ones are like, you know, there's a huge difference. There's like a $5,000 difference there. And so I told the guy, I was like, look, bro, this isn't a 116613. I was like, this is a 16613. It's the older version from 1990. I was like, you can see this part was yellow. And so I was like, dude, I was like, no offense, bro, but like these go for noticeably less. And I'm intentionally not specifying price. I was like, hey, man, these things go for noticeably less. I can't do it. Like, I can't buy that, you know. And so then he gave me a deal on one of the other ones they had. But yeah, point is, secondary market, jewelry stores will try to get you. They're hoping that you got so much money that you just don't even look at price. But you got to know your stuff around them, because if not, they'll get you, you know. Yeah, Thursday is CPI. It's inflation data. So Thursday is CPI. No, I didn't finance it. Yeah, he wanted me to finance it. I was like, nah, I'm not. I don't. Again, if you're financing a watch, you're doing something wrong, bro. It's kind of like if you're financing a Lamborghini. Like, hey, like, if you have to finance it, don't buy it. You know. Yesterday could have been a dead cat bounce. Yeah, we dropped a lot last week. You know, last week was the end of this historic green streak that we've been in. We've been in this big green streak for the last couple months, really. You know, the market had prior to last week 9 green weeks in a row. 9 green weeks in a row prior to last week. We finally ended that historic run, that historic green bounce, and now we're correcting a little bit. But the market bounced back up yesterday, and so now we're in this really interesting state in which the market pulled back a decent amount after ripping up a huge amount and then bounced a little bit yesterday. So we'll see what happens today. Again, I'm not sure what we're going to get. Again, looking at the poll, 57% of people think the market action continues bullish today. 43% of people think we're going to get bearish action. So far, we have gotten a little bit of a correction from yesterday's bull action here, but we're starting to bounce up a little bit from it. And so I think we got to wait until the opening bell. We got 10 minutes here, guys, until the open. 10 minutes. Wimbledon 2-tone rose gold 41. Yeah, I mean, for me personally, it's too flossy. You know, one thing that you'll see a lot with Rolexes is like, and again, I'm actually glad I got the one I did. I'm not going to be specific, but gold is a little bit too flossy for me personally, you know. And when the watch costs that much, you don't really want to bring that much attention to it, you know. And so one of the things you'll see is that the gold ones will actually appreciate slower than the sport models, I guess I'll call them. So the gold Rolexes do not appreciate as much. They don't hold their value as well. Mostly because, you know, when you get to like really wealthy people, most of the time they actually don't want to be targets, right? Like wealthy people are usually very, you know, again, there's the famous saying, riches yell, wealth whispers. And that's very true. And it's one of the reasons gold Rolexes don't appreciate as much as like regular, like non-gold Rolexes, specifically because it's too loud, is the easiest way to put it. All right, guys, markets push it up. I kind of want to short this. We'll see. Oh no, the stainless steel ones usually appreciate better and are actually more famous and more expensive in a lot of ways, depending on which ones you're talking about, though. Like, there's always outliers. Did he really, Joey? Yeah, so again, will the Bitcoin ETF get approved? That's a crazy story that we got going on. We got one day. A lot of people are still saying, yeah, the ETF's going to get approved. Yeah, the ETF's going to get approved. But it's January 9th. The deadline is January 10th. Does the Bitcoin ETF get approved? Does the Bitcoin ETF get approved by tomorrow, guys? Let me know. I mean, it's a nice watch, Make. Don't get me wrong, bro. It's a nice watch, you know. I'm not hating on it, you know. If it's a dress watch, though, like you wear it out when you're going to a wedding or something, you know. It's nice. I like it. You got the Oyster or the Jubilee bracelet, bro? I like the, on this one, I like the Jubilee bracelet, or the Oyster bracelet, I mean. But it's nice. No, it doesn't. I don't think it does either. I personally think that the Bitcoin ETF is not going to get approved. Again, we'll see, though. We'll see. All right, market's starting to bounce up a little bit here. We're trying to move up. We'll see if we hold. I'm in the approval camp. Yeah, again, I think, like, okay, and again, I talked about this argument earlier. If Bitcoin's ETF is going to get approved, why wait until the very last day before the deadline? Like, why wait until the actual deadline date to get approved if you're going to get approved? You know what I mean? So, like, okay, if it was going to get approved, I think it would be something in which the approval announcement would come before the deadline. Because if it's going to get approved, once the conditions are met, they're going to announce the approval. If it's not going to get approved and it's going to get rejected, that's the situation in which they might wait until the actual deadline date, again, which is tomorrow, to announce it, in my opinion. You know, because they're trying to figure out how to announce it. Again, that's at least the procedure I would guess would happen. And again, maybe I'm wrong. I certainly could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong in this situation. I hope the Bitcoin ETF gets approved. I'm just questionable about whether it actually will or not tomorrow. You know, I think the most likely outcome is that the approval gets delayed until later this year, but it happens this year. And again, I hope we get approval by tomorrow. I think it's a little late for it. You know, I think it's a little bit late for it. Yeah, where's Nvidia at right now? So Nvidia had a crazy good day yesterday. Nvidia's still over 520s. It's at 524. So we got this big pop up. I'm not sure if this is market related or not, but look at this big bounce up here. Redbook came in at 5.9%. Last time it was 5.6%. Again, I'm also going to throw this in sub only mode. I don't think I've done this today yet. It might be delayed. Yeah, I'm guessing it will. But again, maybe we're wrong. You know, I question why they're going to wait until the deadline date if the approval is set. But again, I hope I'm wrong. And again, it's pure speculation. Yeah, so again, we're going to throw this thing in sub only mode. So announce yourself if you're subbed. We appreciate it. Subbed. Hey, thanks, T-Bye. I appreciate it. Yeah, again, I hope it's approved, but I don't know when it's going to be announced, if they're going to announce it, you know, over the next couple days. Again, we got the deadline is January 10th, which is tomorrow, if it gets approved. So at least we'll have some stuff to talk about tomorrow. But again, I don't know. All right, team, we got about a minute and a half left until the market opens, about 1.5 minutes. I have an $800 account now, sir. How much money should I put into each trade to have a high reward with some risk, and which of stocks should be good to trade? I don't think you can do much with $800, brother. I think you're either going to be forced to trade penny stocks, which are really sketchy and difficult to trade, and you'll probably lose. Or you're only going to be able to get such a small size. I just don't know if $800 is enough to trade, bro. If you have $800, I would just paper trade and learn, you know, instead of trying to make money from that, because it's gonna be very difficult for you too. And again, you're gonna have a lot of other channels and courses that tell you that you $800 and the 5K if you just follow their course. Most of them are nonsense. They're just trying to get you to buy their course with it. So, you know, don't get nonsense course either. Almost all the information you can find publicly available for free anyway. So. All right, guys, here we go. Here's the market open. Here we go. All right, there's the market open, team. Let's see if we get something good. So we got a big rip up on the NASDAQ here, big pop up. Nvidia starting to dip back down to the previous closing price. We'll see if it actually holds down there or not. But Nvidia, big fall down, big dip on Nvidia. I'm going to short this. Might be a bad move, and it looks like it is because we are down. But again, getting punished here. Punished. Because Nvidia just turned. I'm going to have to cut this and get out with an $85 loss. Very bad trade there. Not a bad trade, but like, again, maybe a little bit too early to take those positions. Nvidia ended up completely turning a 180. It was pressing towards the previous closing price, and then it ended up just flushing. Nvidia turning down again here. Weird. But look at the NASDAQ fly. Wow. Weird. Interesting enough, I see a lot of blue chips going down with the NASDAQ ripping up this much. Interesting. And then I see Nvidia back up. Boeing flying back up too. Look at the NASDAQ though. Tesla is starting to hold. Nvidia starting to bounce. And then Boeing rejecting. Apple falling back up, I guess, or moving back up, I mean. All right, Nvidia coming all the way back down again, man. Nvidia very volatile. There's the NASDAQ dip. Nvidia just dumping down. We don't know what time tomorrow. We don't know if the ETF's going to get approved or not. It's all speculation here. Yeah, we have no idea what the market's going to do in that situation. We don't know when the Bitcoin ETF is going to get approved, if it's going to get approved, what time it's going to get approved if it does. See, a lot of stuff is down right now, though. Why is the S&P running? This looks weak. I'm going to short this, guys. It's kind of risky, though. There we go. There we go. We just made over 100. Getting more breakdowns here. Yeah, everything looks weak. Yeah, Amazon's ripping up over 149, so Amazon's kind of dragging the market up, I guess. All right, look at the NASDAQ pump. Again, this is mostly Amazon. Boeing falling. All right, market's breaking highs. All right, so Nvidia coming back down here. Look at Tesla start to bounce though. So Nvidia coming back down, Tesla bouncing. Nvidia testing lows of the day. Might get into the S&P 500 short, but we'll wait. There's Nvidia cracking lows. Nvidia just broke lows of the day here. Yeah, so Nvidia just cracked lows. NASDAQ pulling back down. Tesla starting to test these low levels as well. Apple bouncing up a little bit. Amazon pulling back some too, though. All right, so we are shorting the S&P right here. We're going to go and cover a little bit more. We're up about 75 on the rest. I think I'm just going to let it sit, and if we get like a firm breakdown, we'll make some money on it. And if not, we can get out flat. Gonna get out flat there. Too much of a trend forming. So green on the day, kind of flat there on this position though. Watch Amazon, Nvidia. Yeah, I don't know what to do. This is all kind of a neutral trend in all honesty for me. Tesla looks kind of sideways. Nvidia broke down some, but I'm going to short this. Nvidia looks weak here. Here's the breakdown. I just made about $100 real quick, 120. Caught the breakdown here ahead of it too. You guys saw that, so we got in short very quickly here, cut it. We'll look for a small bounce and then piggyback off of that bigger move here because Amazon's starting to correct it. Nvidia's all the way down to 418 or 518s. Hey, later, Justin. Have a good day, bro. All right, we need a small little bounce to attack this short. That's big enough. Flat on this, but I'm gonna have to cut it pretty quick too if it doesn't reject. There we go, there's the rejection. Let's see if it holds down here though. That's a big retracement, and yeah, we're gonna have to cut it. We just lost most of the profit we made on the day. We're kind of flat now, and that's all right. I'm gonna try shorting this again, maybe being a little overzealous. See Tesla starting to break, which is why I like this one. Apple just cracked lows too. Let's give it a little bit longer to come back down. There we go. Now we're flat again. Now we're green again. I want to give it time to fully break though. Amazon under the previous closing price is why I think it looks okay, but I might be wrong here. We're flat again. We keep pushing down towards me, like the profitable spot for me here though. It's taking too long. If it cracks over my entry, I'm gonna have to cut this. There we go. There we go. All right, so we just made about a 130 here back. So we made all the money we lost back, basically. I thought we would retrace, but again, you can kind of see the up wicks and down wicks. It's looking a little sideways and neutral. The only good thing is like Apple flushed under lows. Amazon's under the previous closing price, so that made me a little bit more interested, but yeah, I mean, it's all good. People can say whatever they want about me as a trader. I'm not claiming to be an expert or a guru or anything. And I tell people a lot. I call it the Dunning-Kruger effect of trading. And if you don't know what the Dunning-Kruger effect is, it's people who typically know the least in a specific skill set or an industry think they know the most, right? And so one thing that you do not see profitable traders do is go around criticizing other traders regularly. Like, it's just not something that profitable traders do. And so if you see somebody that pops into my stream and they're being really negative or kind of critical of my trading, they're usually really new. And like they're usually some of the most gullible people because they're the people who are getting wrapped up in like guru culture. So like if another group tells you that you could take $1,000 and turn it into 50K if you buy their course and they're making thousands of dollars a day, you know, and if you're really gullible, you might eat that up and buy it up and think that you could just buy their course or join their mentorship program and like really just get rich with $1,000. Those are usually the people who end up acting that way on stream, where they go to people's streams, they talk about, you know, and so again, I take it as a compliment. It just means that they're probably new. And so so again, we got Nvidia bouncing up a little bit. Yeah, and I mean the end of it is like if I don't ever see anybody here and the first thing they say is super negative, I'm just gonna ban them. They've usually either been banned before and they're kind of creating another account, or like I said, they're kind of following somebody who's just selling them a dream. And I'd rather just be real about it. And so it's all love. Yeah, negativity doesn't work when you're trading. That's how you know who's new. 100%. All right, so Nvidia bouncing back up a little bit here. So Nvidia bouncing back up some. Yeah, I mean, and again, it is what it is. Like, look, here's yesterday, or here's today, right? So today it's been a little bit more of a comeback position. We're up $110. Yesterday, we made roughly $1,100, you know, about a 2-to-1 win-loss ratio. So, I mean, I can't really complain about my trading results lately either. Nvidia rejecting at the volume-weighted average price. So we'll see if that holds too. Boeing cracking lows. I don't know what I want to do here. This is so sideways and flat. I'm just kind of trying to take it slow and not push too heavy right now. we've had kind of a choppy day in and of itself, and so I don't want to like go too hard where we kind of have a neutral trend. This looks a little bit more weak now. I might short a little bounce if we get it, but we might not get it. It might just keep flushing. Yeah, there's the flush. It's just happening so quickly. It's not really profitable to jump on that either, for me at least, but everybody's different. Yeah, again, we're kind of flat on the day. I'm going to short this now. And maybe not get anything. And again, if we get flat on the day, I'm okay with it today. Very close to cutting this. Very, very close. Yeah, we're just gonna have to cut it. Just too much risk. Again, we're kind of flat now. Could be worse. Again, I could be super red. It might have worked too in my favor, you know. Wow, look at the S&P break. See if the NASDAQ follows it. I'm just glad to be slightly green. Yeah, I thought the NASDAQ looked weak, but the NASDAQ's kind of playing games, which means tech's trying to battle. It's mostly Nvidia is what it is. Amazon's consolidating. Apple just went red on the day. I think Apple just went red. Let me see. No, so Apple's been red. Apple just cracked under a pretty big resistance level, though. Or support level, I should say. Bears woke up out of hibernation. Hey, for sure. Again, we're slightly green on the day. Like, I'll take it. Here's my day so far. And so again, it could be worse. Could be better, certainly. But, you know, it is what it is. We had a big loss this morning where we took some swings trying to trend trade. Played most of the day playing catch up. We actually had a pretty good reward to risk ratio, a 2-to-1 ratio, but is the 10-year bond dropping? That's weird because the market's falling too. Yeah, 10 years still, I mean, it's still at 4%, but could be better. Tesla bad news again. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at Tesla news. I don't really see much. All right, so I'm reading this article about Tesla. I think Elon got into like a battle with Mark Cuban. Yeah, I saw that. Listening to you every day helps me with the overall macro event that's going on in the markets. Yeah, that's kind of what my channel's about. Again, okay, so you see haters like we had earlier. Most of the time, we're an economic report channel, you know, so it's like we cover economic reports like CPI, FOMC meetings, earnings, like broad stock market news. We don't claim to be a day trading guru or an expert or anything like that, but it's like people want to hate for whatever reason, and so they kind of magnify my day trading, and they say, oh, well, this guy's a terrible day trader, because that's the only really ammunition that they have. Because when you say, hey, I'm not an expert, and you just kind of report broad stock market economic news, I think it's hard to criticize. And so I appreciate the love. Really, we're mostly an economic report channel team, if you haven't noticed that already. And again, this week we got some big stuff. We got CPI on Thursday, PPI on Friday, bank earnings on Friday. Very big stuff coming out this week. Very relevant for markets. And again, this market might be slow in anticipation of that. The day after tomorrow, we have the biggest report of the month, really. Specifically, the biggest economic report outside of FOMC, which is CPI and inflation data. So again, be ready, guys. Be ready. If you haven't already, you can check out Top Step. Again, it's a funded program in futures. They give you a demo, and they test your skill in futures. In the futures market, this is the QQQ price action. It's the same thing as the QQQ. It looks very similar to Nvidia as well, but you can day trade this left side with no PDT rule. I can buy market, sell market, all that good stuff, no PDT rule. And what they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill. And if you could pass the test with the demo, they fund you between 50 to 150K with a 90% split, and they pay out millions every year. They fund thousands and thousands of traders a year, pay out millions in actual withdrawals. Just taking the challenge builds your skill. Almost all day traders lose money. And so as I always tell people, you can try to look cool on the internet and lose thousands of dollars putting the money up yourself, or you could take a funded account program. Just taking the challenge would generally build your skill. And it's just a great way to learn trading with limited risk. Although I'm certainly biased, of course, because they're a sponsor of mine and they pay me money. But if you want to check them out, there's the link. Great way to help support your boy here on this channel. I would look at like social media is going to tell. I mean, there's a lot of places I use for news, but just check broad stock market news. It should give you an update on what happens. But yeah, guys, I'm out of here. Y'all be safe. Y'all be good. Good luck. Love you all. Y'all be good. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day, team. We'll see you guys tomorrow. ETF approval. We'll see if it happens. Later, guys.